Hello everyone. So in this video we will see the before and after trigger. Okay. So in which situation we should use which one. So as you can see there are some points mentioned for before and after trigger. So we will go for before first. So before trigger we use when we need to update or validate record values. Okay. Before they are saved in the database for the same object. So for example, I'm inserting an account record, okay, and I want to check that the email is there or not. Okay, so I will check in before insert trigger, and if email is not present, then I can show any message to the user that you did not enter the email, please enter the email. So like that, we can use before trigger. Okay, and before update also, if you want to assign any variable to any other variable, like for example if you want to assign the shipping date, account shipping date equals to billing date. Okay, so that you can achieve using before triggers. So all the code written in the before update triggers execute before DML is committed to Salesforce database. Okay, so before update triggers runs before the DML perform means permanently committed the data into the database. So hence, if you are trying to update any value in the record on which the trigger is fired, we have no need any update statement. Means we have no need to write any DML statement in before insert or after, means before update like that. So in before scenario, fields like ID and formula fields will not be available. Okay, because records are not yet generated. Okay, in before insert. So when we use after triggers, so after triggers are used to access the values that are contained in a record, and we can use those values to insert and update the related objects. Okay, mostly in after triggers, we perform the actions on the related objects. For example, the scenario is when an account is inserted, I want to associate a contact record with that. Okay, I want to create a new contact with which will be related to that account. So in that case I will write a trigger after insert trigger for account. Okay, so whenever an account will be inserted, so a new contact will be created and it will be linked to that account. So in that scenario I will use after trigger. The second situation could be if you want to send an email notification. For that also you can use after triggers. Okay, and in after triggers we are able to access the record IDs and other system generated fields like last modified date, created created by, like that. So in both of these situation we already seen what could be the things. So now we will see an example in which we will see that how the context variables are getting their values in before and after scenario. Okay, you can see I have written a trigger on account in before insert and after insert scenario. Okay, so if you see here, I'm calling these, I'm just showing these context variable values before calling the method and after calling the method. Okay, so here is my handler. So in create account method, what I'm doing, I'm just assigning billing state to shipping state if they are not equal. Okay, and there is one grandparent field on account. I'm assigning that account ID to that grandparent field. Okay, and in the print account method, I'm just showing the details of the account. Okay, so here if you see, when first I'm calling the method in before insert. Okay, so before calling the method, what are the values, and after calling the method, what are the values. So if you see here in the debug log, see in before insert trigger.new, see account ID is not yet generated, but you can see the account name is there, right? That's account one. So in before insert scenario, IDs are not generated. You can see other context variables are null. Trigger.newMap is null, trigger.old is null, trigger.old map is null. Okay, so after that my function has been called. Is still it is in before insert scenario, right? So account ID is not yet generated, but it is yet to be committed to the database. Okay, other context variable are is still null. So if you see here in before insert scenario, I'm calling this create account function, right? And create account function is doing what? It is assigning the billing state to shipping state and account ID to grandparent. So here you see I'm not using any DML statement, right? So what will happen in before insert scenario, it will call this method and it will update the values in the database. Okay. So we have no need any DML statement in before scenario. Okay. So now come to the after insert part. So let's see in after insert, in after insert trigger dot new account ID is generated, right? Because we are in after scenario. Same account is there, test account one, and the ID is generated. And you can see that trigger dot new app is also having ID of that account and a subject record, right? Account record is there. So this is how trigger dot old will be null, trigger dot old map will be null. After function call also it will be like this because we are not doing any what you can say, we are not performing any assignment or something here, or we are not doing any other calculations in this method. We are just showing the details. So that's how. So you can see in before insert scenario we are not having any record ID. Okay, and it is returning the list of records. But in after scenario we are getting the IDs, and we can perform any other thing if you want in after scenario. And new map is also there, which is returning the map of account ID comma account. Okay, one more important point I want to mention here is that what is the benefit of trigger.new map over trigger.new. So let's see an example. For example, you are trying to insert 200 accounts at a time. Okay, so if you will use trigger.new, you need to loop through trigger.new, and then you need to create a set of account ID, then you need to loop trigger.new, and then you need to assign all the account IDs to this set of account IDs. Okay, so if you want to remove this part, if you don't want to use this directly, you can use trigger.newmap.keyset. So in your new map already all the account IDs will be there, right? So you have no need to loop through the account records and make a separate set of ID. So directly you can reduce a one for loop using trigger.newmap. Okay, like this you can query. So select ID from contact or account where account ID in trigger.newmap.keyset. So here, so just like this, you can reduce the for loop using trigger.newmap. Okay. Yeah, that's all about this before and after trigger thing. So in next video, we will try to explore some best practice related to trigger. And after that, we will start writing our triggers. Okay. I hope you like the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.